Now give the floor to the representative of Israel.
Israel has always stated, and I reaffirm here today, we will do everything we can to bring our people home. This unwavering commitment to our citizens remains at the heart of all that we do. Mr. President, for years, Israel has warned of the growing threats in our region, warnings about Hezbollah's buildup in southern Lebanon, and violations of the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement in Syria. For years, these warnings were dismissed. Today, we meet with some hope for progress. We must reflect on those ignored warnings and the heavy price they caused. Israel has consistently acted to protect its people and ensure stability, and will remain steadfast in this commitment. These letters, Mr. President, contain the evidence, the countless, hundreds of letters we wrote, warnings and detailed reports that Israel submitted about Hezbollah's buildup in southern Lebanon, as well as violations of the Disengagement Agreement in the area of separation with Syria. These letters are proof that we told you this would happen. These papers should have been calls to action, but instead they were ignored, left to gather dust. Only when Israel was forced to act did this council find its voice. When it did find its voice, it unfortunately still failed to condemn the terrorists targeting our civilians. For years, this council has heard warnings about the growing threat Hezbollah posed to Lebanon, Israel, and the region as a whole. We warned of their stockpiling of thousands of rockets and anti-tank missiles, the smuggling of advanced weapons from Iran, and the construction of thousands of tunnel shafts and hidden military networks. We exposed Hezbollah's transformation of southern Lebanon into a fortress of terror. Today, we stand in the aftermath of a historic turning point. Hassan Nasrallah is gone, as are several of his successors, and Hezbollah has suffered a decisive blow. A ceasefire is in place. Lebanon has managed to elect a new president, a significant step forward after years of political chaos. But let us not be mistaken. Quiet for peace. The scars of Hezbollah's aggression remain etched into the land and the lives of those who endured it. Over 22,000 rockets rained down on Israeli homes, displacing more than 63,000 civilians. Israel uncovered and dismantled over 10,000 explosive devices, 870 launchers, and 60,000 communication devices. Much of this infrastructure was built just meters from UNIFIL positions. It was not this council nor UNIFIL that confronted Hezbollah's terror network. It was Israel. Through our determination and resilience, we not only defended our people, but created an opportunity for Lebanon to reclaim its sovereignty. Dear colleagues, it is time for this council to recognize what Israel's actions have achieved. By dismantling Hezbollah's terror infrastructure, we have given the Lebanese armed forces and the Lebanese government the breathing room to begin reclaiming their nation. This is a moment of opportunity, an opportunity to free Lebanon from being a failed state held hostage by a terrorist organization. But let me be clear, this opportunity will not last forever. Already, we see attempts by Hezbollah to rebuild. Weapons are being smuggled across the Syria-Lebanon border. Funds are being funneled to rearm Hezbollah. Hezbollah operatives remain active south of the Litani River in blatant violation of Resolution 1701. We will not allow history to repeat itself. This brings us to the situation in Syria. From September to November 2024 alone, there were hundreds of documented breaches of the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement. Military positions have been established within the area of separation in blatant violation of the agreement. Armed individuals routinely infiltrate the Alpha Line and tamper with the land in Israeli territory. These activities are not hidden. They are visible and have been reported extensively to UNDOF. In response to the emerging situation in Syria, Israel has taken limited and temporary measures in strategic areas to neutralize immediate threats. These actions were not taken lightly, but they were necessary to protect our citizens and preventing armed groups from threatening Israeli territory. Israel remains committed to the framework of the Disengagement Agreement, including the principles regarding the area of separation. We maintain close coordination with UNDOF. And I want to remind you what happened on December 7, when our forces helped safeguard UNDOF forces from attacks. However, the ongoing violations undermine the fragile stability of the region. Israel recognizes the vital role of peacekeepers on the ground in maintaining stability and places the highest importance on their safety. But it is time to address the failures in their mandates, which have failed to prevent aggression. Peacekeeping mission must not just exist. You have a lot of troops, a lot of soldiers, a lot of money, but they are not there just to be there. They must be empowered to act decisively. They must succeed in their mission by actively enforcing mandates and holding violators accountable. The discovery of massive terrorist infrastructure during the conflict highlights years of operational failures. UNIFIL's modus operandi must change to effectively prevent further violations and ensure that Resolution 1701 is fully enforced. UNDOF must ensure that violations are documented transparently and acted upon. Distinguished Council members, Israel is committed to upholding international agreements, including the Disengagement of Forces Agreement. But our commitment to this agreement must not be mistaken for weakness. We will act against any threat to our security. Israel will not allow security threats to take root on its borders, as Hamas and Hezbollah did. The international community must take concrete steps to prevent weapons smuggling and Hezbollah's military rebuilding efforts. Failure to act will only invite further instability. The Council must face reality. Israel's actions have prevented the collapse of order in southern Lebanon and the area of separation. By dismantling Hezbollah's terror networks and confronting threats in Syria, Israel has provided a chance for the international community to reclaim peace. But this state of affairs will not last forever. This Council must support the ceasefire agreements, Israel's actions, and the full implementation of Resolution 1701. To Lebanon's representative, I'm saying here, Israel has given you a chance to rebuild. Seize the moment, the opportunity to reclaim your sovereignty and secure a future free from terror. And to Lebanon's people, I'm saying Lebanon belongs to you, not to Iran. This is your moment to take back your country and move towards a brighter future. Dear colleagues, Israel has done its part. We are committed to the ceasefire understanding and the US-led mechanism, having submitted hundreds of reports of violations, including 168 major ones. However, the LAF's progress remains slow and must accelerate. If Hezbollah attempts to rebuild, Israel will act decisively. UNIFIL and UNDOF must learn from their past failures and ensure their mandates are robustly implemented. Mr. President, to conclude, the choice before this Council is clear. Will you stand by as Hezbollah regroups, as terror networks rebuild, and as history threatens to repeat itself? Or will you act to ensure that Lebanon's future is one of peace and stability? Israel has shown what is possible when action replaces silence. The Council must follow that example. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Disengagement signing off.